Welcome to Super Bloom, your opportunity to learn about the mind, the body, and how they connect. I am Rosie O. I am passionate about bringing people together to learn. I love studying about the body, and I will be a lifelong student of philosophy. In this pod, we explore all things related to the power of the mind and to the purpose of this life, this physical human existence. I believe we all possess the ability to thrive. We just have to learn how to tap into our life force, our creative energy. I am here to introduce unusual ideas to evoke thought, curiosity, and ultimately to help strengthen our relationships with each other. We can realize our full potential once we wake up the wisdom in our bones and activate that innate ability to thrive. Smile and breathe has been my daily practice leading up to the publishing of this first episode. I recorded the trailer in November 2021, just as I was healing from the Delta variant, congested and foggy, but I was determined to launch before the end of the year. But then I decided I was forcing it, told myself I was a fake, and not surprisingly, lost momentum. I'm still very much leaning into my own daily practices to cultivate peace of mind. But back then, I was also just 6 months into my new life, this working from home while raising a baby. And thinking back, it's funny, but not funny at all, how confidence can come and go so easily, like in a matter of weeks, never mind days. In hindsight, it was all a matter of what I was thinking. When I told myself I could launch and it would be great, I felt inspired. The ideas for future episodes were flowing. Just like when I look at my life today, it's important that I smile and breathe and tell myself all the good things. Like, yes, self, after a life-affirming jaunt in San Diego, California, living in PB, surfing, and meeting the locals, not really locals, you are back in the town where you grew up, raising a baby of your own. But now you appreciate this tiny island for how special and private the beaches truly are, the active fishing community, and the gentle but surfable waves. A friend recently said to me, "What you be, you exude." It's such a simple phrase, yet I'm still chewing on this concept. I feel the difference in my bones when I think happy thoughts versus not thinking positive thoughts. But I wonder, how do you be happiness? Like, how do you do it? Just tell yourself over and over again good thoughts? Maybe. I think it depends if one even wants to shift from negative to a lighter and positive place of being. Okay, here's the fun fact. Did you know that when you smile, it shoots off chemicals in your brain that will naturally boost your mood, even if you're faking it? This means you can lift your mood right now if you smile. So basically, yeah, whatever we think, we feel. So if you speak to yourself like, "Oh, you slept in today, even though you planned to get up 2 hours earlier? Great job! You're letting your body get more sleep." You'll feel like you did a good job sleeping in today. You'll feel great. But if you think you're sleeping too late and you're lazy and you should really get up earlier, then you're not going to feel great and you might actually start to feel bad. And all you have to do is think something else to feel better. And even though it's also very easy to do, smiling is something I wonder if we do enough in a day, especially because of all of the proven health benefits. Just smile and you can improve physiology during acute stress. You can improve recovery rates from stress. Smiling has even been proven to help reduce illness over time. So I forgot to smile for a while after feeling all the feels with the initial shock of my unplanned pregnancy and realizing I had to move back east. I didn't appreciate how much smiling can and does immediately shift my demeanor. But then once I was home, settled in a new place, and could reset a bit, I found myself smiling a lot at this realization that I was finally going to be a mother. I would smile when I looked in the mirror and remind myself, this is really a good thing, and to be happy for this little human growing inside of me. I actually got a sticker with the word smile on it during my third trimester and stuck it on my bathroom mirror, where it still remains. But only recently did I start practicing smiling as a daily habit. I used to think a smile was like a precious gift, and if I offered it too freely, someone might take it the wrong way or see it as an invitation for something else. But now, when I make eye contact with someone and I see kind eyes, I smile and I say hello. And now I say hi, hi, hi as my daughter waves and we walk by together. I love these exchanges and I feel happy when I smile. I read a study recently that says on average, adults smile 50 times a day and a child smiles about 400 times per day. That seems really low on the adult side and really high comparatively on the kid side. And because these are statistics from studies on adults that signed up for the test and agreed to count their smiles, I deduce that adults likely smile less than 50 times per day. There are adults who may not smile all day long. I know I've had points in my life where smiling felt painful. I have a 13-month-old now, and since she learned how to smile, she mimics me, smiling a one-tooth grin. And when she and I make eye contact, and especially when she hears a groovy song playing, it's like she remembers she can move her body on her own. She'll nod her head, sway her arms, and bounce her legs to the beat. She keeps me smiling most of the day. Breathing is as instantly effective as smiling. Our minds exist to fluctuate with thought and to tempt us to come out of our natural state of peace. So when we smile, it's like we're reminding ourselves to be happy, find joy in this moment, and to take a step back from all the thoughts that are bringing us out of balance. In the yogic philosophy, these fluctuations of the mind are called vrittis, and our breath is the key to finding our way back to a sense of calm. I picture myself and all my nerve cells cocooned in a cozy, healing pink bubble when I say the words whole self. But my state of wholeness got totally rocked and anxiety and panic took over during the COVID lockdown in spring of 2020. I let myself be sucked into the hourly news updates about business shutdowns, death rates rising, and basically let the news infiltrate my pink cozy bubble with fear and dread. It took me several weeks, especially once they shut down all the beaches in Southern California, to remember the tools I possessed to get back to a healthy baseline. I imagine anxiety and depression as the peaks and valleys above and below this baseline of self-control. So imagine a horizontal line which equals peace and calm. And imagine jagged lines going above this axis and rolling lines dipped down below this centered and calm self baseline. This is like a map of the vrittis of the mind when they want to bring us further away from our center, our wholeness, with distracting thoughts about the past or the future. Breathing is what ultimately helped me get back to a place where I even wanted to go back into my cozy bubble. Just like smiling, breathing has a direct effect on the nervous system. A few deep breaths will stimulate the brain's healing functions. You can reduce blood pressure, pain, stress, and strengthen endurance of the immune system just by taking a few slow, deep breaths. Have you noticed your breath yet today? Are you holding it in now that I just mentioned it? I invite you to take a moment now and tune into your breathing. Closing your eyes can help you turn your focus inward, but if you prefer, keep your eyes open and maybe soften the edges of your gaze or bring it downward. Notice how you are breathing in through your nose, your mouth. How are you exhaling? Short breaths out your nose or maybe out your mouth. If you're breathing in through your mouth and your nostrils are clear, take your next breath in through your nose and exhale out your mouth. Let your breathing begin to move more slowly, deliberately. Allow your inhale to deepen so you feel your whole torso filling up with clean, fresh oxygen. As you breathe in through your nose, imagine your breath filling up your torso in 3 sections from the bottom up. First, your lower abdominals near your pelvis to your belly button, then fill to your midsection, letting your ribs lift slightly, filling you up all the way past your heart, throat, and jaw. Pause the next time you fill up. Then letting out a long, audible sigh, emptying back out, down through the throat, down through the chest to the belly button. Keep breathing, filling up these 3 sections, lower, middle, and top of your torso, and releasing that breath back out, down from your throat to your belly. Inhale, pause at the top, holding for a moment. And when you're ready to exhale, let it be loud and audible. Keep breathing, letting your whole body start to relax. Now, close your mouth on the next exhale and let it come out through your nose. And slowly bring a smile to your face and gently open your eyes. Take a few moments to allow yourself to feel any shifts you've created in your physical body, in your mind. And then give it a word. Calm, easy, relaxed. Even if your word is nothing, just give it a label. So we just tapped into the parasympathetic nervous system, the part of the body's nervous system that activates its ability to heal. This is essentially when the body deactivates the hyperarousal sequence, or what is called the sympathetic nervous system. Both parts make up the autonomic nervous system that's responsible for the body's well-being and maintaining balance. When a threat is detected, the body responds, depending on the stimuli, by either fighting, fleeing, or freezing. And then there's also the maladaptive survival response, fawning, where a person who experienced childhood trauma and now has post-traumatic stress disorder from it seeks to appease those creating the conflict with fawning to avoid the conflict. Now, when hyperarousal is activated, the body is designed to shut down all non-essential bodily functions to think and move faster to get through the imminent danger or pain. This means the body also shuts down the rest and digest functions like the immune and digestive systems. Meant to be temporary in order to maintain balance and overall health, these systems must be turned back on once the danger is evaded. Our nervous systems have not evolved much over the past few thousand years. So the influx of technology, especially in these past 20 years with the smartphone, this has caused severe malfunction of our nervous systems as a globe. Our brains react to the emotions we experience with life's overwhelm due to the high demands of our work and personal lives with all this technology. Emails, texts, voicemails, all piling up, and endless unanswered alerts from social media apps. They all cause fear, panic, and a shutdown of vital bodily functions in the body. This natural response is part of the body's intricate system designed to focus energy on the stressor at hand. For example, if a deer is alerted to it being hunted as prey in the forest, anxiety spikes immediately, and the animal's nervous system initiates the sympathetic fight or flight response. If you imagine the body as a computer, The nervous system is like the motherboard. It's the body's command center. It originates from the brain and controls thinking, breathing, digestion, movement, and instinctive automatic responses. Based on the outer and inner stimuli, the motherboard, the body's innate wisdom, knows when to switch between the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. Humans' outer circumstances are less grim than deer. Fortunately, we are not usually chased in a forest as prey. Yet we will activate the fight-flight nervous system when we see the blue lights of a police car in the rear view, or when we think about an approaching deadline with feelings of fear and anxiety. It's important to remember the body seeks balance. After revving up like a car engine, it eventually needs to cool down. When our body turns on the sympathetic nervous system, it's like your internal computer is booting up to focus your energy on the challenge at hand. This makes sense to me when I'm caring for my toddler and she is about to tip over and hurt herself. I'm able to move with the grace and swiftness of a gazelle to catch her. My body starts producing stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline and shuts down other functions like digestion to increase energy to the systems that help me move quickly. I also feel my sympathetic nervous system turn on when my baby cries loudly. My heart rate increases to improve the rate at which I oxygenate blood. And my lungs stop key protection functions like the production of mucus to allow more airflow and be hyper effective at overcoming whatever has triggered this part of the brain. It's very important we maintain balance and come back to homeostasis in our bodies. Many of us live with the sympathetic side of the nervous system chronically activated. This causes exhausted adrenal glands, inability to process and digest foods, and ultimately dis-ease in our bodies. We may not need to hide out completely to heal and repair, but honoring our body's primal instinct to shake, breathe, sleep, and rest to turn back on the parasympathetic nervous system is paramount in tapping into the innate wisdom of the body and its ability to heal and to prevent disease. Consider the last time you were fatigued, felt the urge to rest, but decided to push through and keep going, working, caring for another. In order to keep going in these times, one might use caffeine or another stimulant to increase activity in the brain and to keep the nervous system in that hyperarousal mode. Your heart rate speeds up and your breath becomes rapid like a pant, or maybe you will just hold your breath and stop breathing much at all so you can focus your energy on the task at hand. Similarly, feelings of excitement create a fight-flight response in your body. So when I think about an adventure I'm going to take, traveling or visiting a place that's completely new, my heart rate speeds up and breath pauses, and as I eagerly wait for the trip to approach. The anticipation is what causes the feelings of excitement and anxiety. These feelings of excitement are also vritty fluctuations and disturbances of the mind. Imagine a completely calm ocean as your mind at baseline, and then visualize a thought as a wave, causing a ripple, a disturbance on the surface. This wave is the fluctuation of your mind. Now, imagine you are on your belly on a surfboard, paddling head-on into the waves. Each breath helps get you through the waves to the calmer waters ahead. Try it with me. Breathe into the swelling wave. Inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Do this 5 times, letting your exhale be longer than your inhale. If your nostrils are stuffed up, use your mouth on the inhale, but the filtration through the nose will bring the inhale deeper into the lungs. Quietly count your inhale and exhale, maybe doubling the count on the exhale. So if you're inhaling to a count of 4, exhale to 8 if you can. Notice again how this slow, deep breathing activates the other side of the nervous system, the parasympathetic. Now, in this relaxed state, I would like to drop a taste of another wave of thought for a slightly different view of the autonomic nervous system. It's called the polyvagal theory. Now, this theory views the parasympathetic nervous system as being split in two distinct branches: a ventral vagal system, which supports social engagement, and a dorsal vagal system, which supports the immobilization behaviors, rest and digest, and defensive immobilization or shutdown. What this means is there are basically three levels to the nervous system's arousal sequence, moving like an arc from ventral to sympathetic to dorsal at the top when activated. This new third ventral vagal system is actually the baseline level called social engagement. When the nervous system feels safe, it has reached this social engagement level on the polyvagal chart. However, when there is neuroception of danger, the initial response is within the sympathetic system with a fight or flight response. And these are the emotions. The emotions of the fight sequence are rage, anger, frustration, and irritation. Flight, when one experiences panic, fear, anxiety, or worry. According to the polyvagal theory, the parasympathetic nervous system conserves energy by collapsing and immobilizing when it senses a life threat. This is the dorsal vagal freeze level, beyond the sympathetic being activated by feelings of depression, shame, shutdown, hopelessness, numbness, and feeling trapped. If you are someone who moves quickly through your day, it's possible you do not see an opportunity to stop fighting and don't activate the rest and digest function, if you call it the dorsal vagal or not, until you go to sleep. And even then, if you have trouble sleeping consecutive hours or issues with sleep apnea, your body may not be getting enough time to heal during your sleeping hours. How are we to get to a place where we connect to the ventral vagal, feeling settled, mindful, and able to be compassionate towards others? Our breath is an opportunity to check back in with our nervous system, turn off the hyperarousal mode, and let our body heal. When we take deep, slow breaths, we literally slow down our body's internal rhythm and allow our natural systems to take over. Our adrenal glands, which are small triangular-shaped glands located on the top of both kidneys, can turn back on and produce hormones to help regulate metabolism, the immune system, blood pressure, and the body's response to stress. The sympathetic nervous system exists to bring balance to our bodies. It brings us out of the slower parasympathetic behaviors and drives us forward to fight or avoid harm and ensures safety. But when a part of the nervous system is being overused and exhausted, it will wreak havoc on our health and overall well-being. When I feel out of my body or caught up in my head, I notice if I'm in my comfy, cozy pink bubble, feeling even keeled, or how far off from my baseline I am. And then I use tools like the breathing ones we practiced today to help bring me back to my calm self. I breathe a bit deeper, spend time outdoors, stretch my hips, especially if I've been spending a lot of time on my phone or my computer. I also highly recommend putting hands in the dirt or in the sand to connect back down to the earth, down from the ethers and away from electronics. Sometimes I embody the primal methods of releasing pressure through physically shaking, dancing, or my new faves, tantric screaming and howling. By honoring our bodies, we remember its aim is to get back to balance, that cozy bubble, that baseline, and that it seeks the calm surface of the sea. It's like a yoga teacher I admire, Bo Forbes, said, when we listen to our body whisper, we never have to hear it scream. Do you feel like you're living in the peaks and valleys of your emotions, chronically swinging between the fight and flight modes of rage and panic? Or do you feel like you live mostly in an even-keeled place of calm and serenity? Do you trust your body to innately heal itself once you give it the opportunity to deactivate the arousal sequence? Do you trust and know that we are meant to get back to our baseline and thrive? I believe wholeheartedly in our innate ability to thrive as human beings, especially after this past year watching my infant daughter grow from an immobile little helpless thing into this strong, mobilized creature who is constantly learning. She cannot speak yet, but she can communicate with sign language and modulated sounds to convey her emotions. It is wild how rapidly she assimilates information. We are born to thrive. If nurtured, loved, and given a safe environment in which to learn, a baby will naturally seek development and growth. A child's developing brain is most flexible during these early months and years of life. So this time period sets the foundation for lifelong health and well-being. Although the nervous system and an overall awareness to varying emotions is still developing in infants and toddlers, at whatever level or capacity she is capable, that little human will thrive if given the emotional support to do so. Like a baby learning, everything needs to rest. A baby's body reacts with fever and hives and fatigue in response to teeth, which are bones basically breaking through the gums so that the body can heal. What do you do that taps into your healing ability? Is it sleep? Quiet time in nature? And what brings you into the fight, flight, freeze, or fawn modes? Are there people or topics that act as triggers and poke at old scars and pain? When is this a good thing to activate this hyperarousal mode? When do you have a life-threatening experience that requires you at your sharpest? Can you remember a challenging time your sympathetic nervous system helped you move through, providing momentum and efficiency? And when do you know you're exhausting your adrenal glands? Like, how can you tell? For me, it's when I'm pushing myself, not sleeping enough, and I get really tight in my neck and shoulders. And sometimes I'll even get an earache if I let it go long enough before I get sleep and take care of my body. What lights you up? When do you feel you are in your element and you are doing something you could do all day long? I love being physical, yet have worked day jobs behind a desk for most of my life. Once I started running events, traveling and being on the go for multiple days at a time, I realized I thrive in large event scenes. Later, after studying physical and mental fitness, I also realized attending or leading back-to-back yoga classes gives me energy. Do you notice the little things in the day? How nature keeps on going? The flowers in spring popping up? The way birds move in the sky when it's windy? I know I'm in a good headspace on the days that I get outside and look up. Have you ever used your breath to calm your nerves? Has your sighing breath caused a reaction from someone? Did they ask you if you were okay? We all have that natural knowing to release the pressure with our breath, but socially, it may not be part of your world right now. I will use my breath to help calm my nerves after my daughter cries, especially when she's ready to go to sleep. After she is soothed and quiet, I focus on my breath and allow the breath to be audible. When my daughter hears me consciously using my breath, she echoes the sound with a loud exhale through her nose. This response reminds me I am actively seeking my pink bubble, and then that helps me focus more of my attention and breath there. When my little one wakes up in the morning, the first thing she does is remember the new things that she learned the day before. If she wakes up and is initially on all fours crying for me, when I go to her, say, hi, and wave, she stops crying, sits back on her heels, and smiles as she flops her hand at me. Something twinkles in her eyes as I clap and say, "Yay!" It's like she's remembering that she can clap her hands too. The delight this little human expresses at the simplest thing humbles me, like being able to stand up on her own. As soon as she could pull up to standing on the ottoman, she would keep one hand on the furniture and the other one she would shake as she yelled, "Ay, ay, 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 ay." And then she'd drop her chin to her chest in an exaggerated nod. If I'm on the floor exercising near her, she'll just keep going and repeat this shake shout game for several minutes. If she sees something on the ottoman, like a scrunchie or a shirt, she'll drop it on the floor, hold on, and bend down to pick it back up, and then drop it again. And she'd squeal, sometimes like in a high-pitched, "Ee-ya, ba, ba, mama," as she flung the hair tie or article of clothing within her reach. I love watching her play these little games with herself as she gets into her body and develops control over her physical actions. She may cry spontaneously when a hunger pain strikes, or she wants a change she can't create for herself. But my daughter is modeling for me how much fun learning can be when you start from scratch, especially when it's acceptable by all for you to be a baby about the process when you're hungry, tired, or frustrated by your limitations. She reminds me of the Mahasati meditation mindfulness practice that I call the raisin. When I look at something with fresh eyes, even something as basic as a raisin, and allow my senses to experience it with a clean slate, I can enjoy the subtleties, like its wrinkled skin, the color of its flesh, the sticky texture on my hands, and the sweet taste as it touches my tongue. If you allow yourself to experience a raisin with all your senses, it could even be an intensely pleasurable experience. Actually, my daughter still doesn't know what a raisin is or tastes like. She hasn't even had a grape. When I remember how brand new everything is for my daughter, it helps me let go of expectations and remember to just be in the moment. It also matters very much how I begin my day, and if the chaos of the day creeps into my pink bubble, how swiftly I am able to slow down and remember to be mindful. For example, I have recently started cheering myself on as soon as I wake up. I start with applauding myself for anything and everything I'm thinking. "Great job, wondering if baby girl is eating enough. Way to plan ahead, mama." Or, "Nice idea to get her sleeping in her crib more often. Way to be considerate of both your needs." And then I list a few reasons I am grateful. Most days it is gratitude for this beautiful, blue-eyed little creation and the honor to guide her in this life. My loving family and friends, my work from home job, the ocean that is only a few blocks from my home. And lately, I am also taking my time to be grateful for the future, things, places, and people that haven't come to be physically yet. It helps set the tone for my day with a positive vibration. It's much better than the "I'm late," or "I should have gone to bed earlier," or "I shouldn't have drank that wine" chatter that wants to creep in. I also like to remind myself that at any moment, something wonderful could happen. A quote I saw painted on a storefront window when I needed to read it the most. Although it is our mind's job to rant and ramble, create lists, labels, compare, and judge, we get to choose which thoughts we connect with and which ones we let go. When we become aware of these fluctuations in the mind, these vrittis, we are ready to learn how to bring in a sense of calm. Begin with the practice of smiling. Look in a mirror as you smile and notice how the muscles in your face move to lift your cheeks. Notice your smile. Is it a full smile? Are you slightly pursing your lips and puffing out through the top one in a half smile? I barely use the muscles in my right cheek, and I have to consciously activate them when I smile. Later, when you are waiting somewhere in line or in traffic stopped at a light, see if you can catch yourself and smile. Take a deep, slow breath. This combination of smiling while breathing will keep others from asking you if you're okay when they hear you and your loud sigh. Breathing and smiling is the beginning of connecting mind and matter with thought, where one can shift the physical state and emotion with conscious thought. Making good use of our breath is taking responsibility for ourselves and our effect on the rest of humanity. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Superbloom Podcast. Visit the website superbloompodcast.com to see videos and join the online community. If you'd like to contact your host, Rosie O, you can reach her at rosieo@superbloompodcast.com. It's a super what? It's a super bloom. Super